Hello, good afternoon. If you are in Nigeria, good morning, good evening in other parts of the world. This is Mr. Pam speaking from Central Nigeria. This is my broadcast about 41. Today, I just want to tell people again about the importance of TBC. And I would like us to go over the send button tests. It is a lot of education embedded in that send button test. And I want us to be reminded of it as we get closer to the TBC economy. A lot of people are still desperate. The poverty mentality in people is still there. I wonder why. If you are 25 years now, for instance, you have lived for 25 years, the God that brought you to this world has kept you for 25 years. But maybe because of your background, because of the little challenges that you have faced in life, you came across TBC. I don't know whether you came across TBC in 2016 when it came to be, or 2017 or 2018, or even this year, 2019. Admin has told us that TBC is in the distribution phase. It is in fact, the whole of the cryptocurrencies phase is in what we call adaptation phase. Not everyone all over the world has started using cryptocurrency yet. But of course, the adaptation is gaining wide and wide acceptance. Admin has told us in the year 20 going to enter the full TBC economy. And what does that mean? TBC will be spendable as we spend our fiat currency now everywhere. We're in send button meeting yesterday, and we're told that over 800 merchants have already registered with TBC to start collecting TBC in different combinations with fiat currency. Of course, as time goes on, the fiat currency portion will be reducing and the TBC portion will be increasing. I want us to hold on to our TBC. Let poverty, for people trying to look for desperate ways of exchanging TBC, I just believe that is the poverty mentality that is disturbing us, that I mean want us to erase it from our mind. Many people want to use TBC as a means of survival. And for me, I see TBC as a means of impacting the world, not as a means of survival. TBC's abundance will be so much that whatever you are looking for on earth, you get it. But what about others? Remember, the intention is that the 1 billion people that will eventually get TBC are to affect the lives of the remaining 6 or 7 billion people. So you get TBC, you eat food, you buy car, you build house, then what? Please, when you get this abundance, begin to think of what you will do to impact humanity. Every holder of TBC must not be thinking of himself and maybe his family. With one coin, you will have more than enough So don't be thinking of what you will eat. Like Jesus said, as a Christian, Jesus made a statement in Matthew chapter 6, verse 23, verse 33. He said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all other things that you have been looking for and other people in the world have been looking for shall be added unto you. What is that kingdom of God that we must first of all seek? Seek to put a smile in somebody's face. Seek to solve a problem for somebody that is in a problem. Seek to save a life of somebody that is lost. So, how do we affect them positively? Look for a means of livelihood. Not to just be giving them money, but give them a means of livelihood. I want to see big organizations being formed by TVCans. I want to see very excellent hospitals. Let all the current scientific discoveries be brought to the doorsteps of our people. Let this medical tourism stop. For us in Nigeria, India is the destination for medical tourism. And you see somebody with an ailment, you'll be looking for millions of naira to get to India and stay there for some time and be able. No, we want what is in India to be brought to every village in Nigeria. Look for a means of impacting souls. That's why I'm so bothered to see people looking for exchange, the exchange. How will I turn my TBC to cash? Every time when I talk to people about the TBC, when I will I turn my TBC to cash? When will I turn my TBC to cash? No. Of course, time is coming that TBC itself is cash. Why will you turn cash to cash, for goodness sake? As I said from the beginning, if you are 25 years, you have lived for 25 years, you didn't die. Is it waiting for another 2 or 3 years for TBC to become liquid that you will die? No. In fact, even if it's school, wait. By 2020, 2021, a lot of schools will start collecting TBC and you continue with your education. What is it? Please see, let me share my screen and we go through the send button test. There is a lot of education there and I want us to go through it. Go through the, sorry, what's happening with, I want to share my screen. Just a minute, please. I want to share my screen with you. Let's try and go through this. I'm sorry, I'm having some challenges with sharing my screen, but let me try and go through this send button tests. Question 1 says the world is rapidly changing and a window of opportunity has opened for humanity to move in the direction of abundance, while the status quo is quickly moving towards exercising greater power and control over the masses through technology. This window of opportunity will be shut within the next couple of years if we let them close it. Collectively, our children will inherit the world we leave behind. When enough of humanity embraces abundance as a lifestyle, together we can empower each other to enjoy it. We want people to understand our coin and its purpose and mission before they make a purchase or pay any fees for it. Passing this test will demonstrate you do understand what we are offering and agree to willingly participate within our private community. Of course, we know that TBC is a private community. And as I always tell people, imagine a community with over 1 billion people living in it, and they are so wealthy that they can afford anything. All manufacturers will go to that community. If you are manufacturing a product or you are offering a service, you want to get paid to it, not that you go to people that they cannot afford, you'll not be able to sell. Is it phones? Is it cars? Is it aeroplanes? Is it helicopters? Is it building manufacturers? Name who will not go. Imagine today you sell 1 billion of a product, units of a product. Let's take a car that is being sold, say, for $50,000, and you are selling 1 billion of it, because everyone in the 1 billion members of that country can afford. Man, that is that even that company will not be able to meet the demand. So the world is changing. And please, though TBC is a private community, it is a community that everyone would want to belong, the merchants and the consumers. The value of our coin is directly tied to our membership agreement and has nothing to do with a market, which is our own. So TBC has nothing to do with any market because it is not a product. TBC is money, it's not a product. Please don't look at money, TBC as an investment. TBC is not an investment. TBC is a medium of exchange, and we are saying that it is a medium of exchange that once you have it, it will be so abundantly sufficient that you can do anything with it. Please, anyone coming to TBC, there is an agreement. In case you don't know, ask anyone that is trying to sell TBC. I learned that it is a private society with agreement. What is the agreement? Is there on the blog. When you go to info, when you go to education, you will see the private agreement. And all of us selling TBC, let us make everyone understand that it's a private community. And as admin says, the value of our coin is directly tied to our membership agreement and has nothing to do with the market, which is why our coin always appreciates in value as our membership grows. Freedoms movement with this coin. It has been designed to empower its users greatly. All of this is based on the idea that a living man or woman is actually worth more than their weight in gold. Life is more valuable than any pile of rocks called gold. Yes, Jesus said something also when he was here on earth. He says, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole wide world and loses his soul. That one was a very critical statement. We will always say that TBC is God sent because your value that you are listening to me is more than the value of gold. So when any one human being joins the community, our price increases. And since human beings don't diminish in value, the price of the coin will not diminish in value. And people are wondering, up to now, the world, they have not come to terms of that formula. How can something only be going up and it will not be going down? Much value of land is so stable, it goes up and doesn't come down. There are a lot of the gold has maintained its value for thousands of years. And we are saying a human being is more than gold. If you want to view our agreement, there is a blog there that you can, in the blog, you read it and then get the information. So, what determines the value of TBC? I just said it. As living men and women, we are more valuable than gold, and agree to add value to the value of our coin. It appreciates in value as each new member joins the community. What determines the value of our coin is human beings that determine the value of our coin. So, question 2. Because community, we are entitled to self-regulation with our centralized coin network, and discounters of our coin will have their send button turned off by admin. Please, if you discount our coin, you are saying that you are reducing the value of human beings, which is an offense to humanity itself. Let your desperation to get a peanut now lead you to discounting our coin. Now, imagine for us in Nigeria, when we reach 1 billion members, we'll be having about $2.6 billion, because that one will be 1 billion grains of gold, and 1 grain of gold now is about 2.6 billion. I mean, 2 by 1 billion, we're talking about 2.6 billion. And in our current exchange rate in Nigeria, we're talking of over 900 billion naira. So if you compare the current value of TBC, 3.3 billion to 900 billion, it is peanut. It is nothing compared to its eventual value. And somebody is still going to discount that. The only reason that I can say is the poverty mentality, which I am saying today, let us remove it. Most good investments, when you do them, you wait for about 4 to 5 years. In fact, the Bible says, if you plant something, when you get to the promised land, if you plant something, as we have bought TBC now, for 3 years we should count it as uncircumcised. The 4th year we should count that one as unto the Lord. It is in the 5th year that we will begin to eat. TBC just celebrated its 10th anniversary this year. We have 2 more years. 2020, 2021 will be 5 years. And the rate at which TBC is going, we will not reach 5 years before we enter our full TBC economy. Have you forgotten the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? You plant it, you water it, you put manure around it. Year one, it's as if you wasted your energy and time and resource. Year two, nothing happens. Year three, nothing also happens. Year four, nothing happens until year five. In the fifth year, as I read from research, some of the Chinese bamboo trees will grow 4 feet in a day in the fifth year. But for 4 years, it's as if nothing happened. Please let us take TBC to be that Chinese bamboo tree. Don't be in a hurry. Imagine a Chinese farmer, Chinese bamboo tree farmer, start pulling up the seeds of the bamboo tree in year three because he doesn't say anything. He pull it out and sell it to somebody. He's just killing the tree. And that's why we are saying, please, it is a private community. We are entitled to govern ourselves. Listen, we have seen that decentralized coins tend to lose their value because of a small number of people. Discounting them will drive sharply and ultimately create loss for all users of those coins. A coin such as ours, that is TBC, which is based on the principle of abundance, requires a responsible admin to regulate its use centrally. The best way to view our coin is as community property, and each member is a steward over their portion. This is implied within the membership agreement. So please, discounters, the agreement say you will not discount. If you are not willing to wait for the 5 years, leave the coin alone. When the TBC commissioner catches you, your son button will be turned off, and except you explain yourself, it might not be open. And of course, as we get closer to the full TBC economy, that coin can be transferred to somebody. Very soon, people will start looking for TBC, they will not get it. So if we are to answer that question, are you allowed to transact with our coin at any price of your choosing? The answer is no. Our coin is part of a private community, and you have to conduct all transactions at the published current price only, no discounting. Let me try and go through the third question tomorrow. We'll go through the other 7 questions because there are 10 questions and they are pertinent to the operations of TBC. And I feel, let me remind those of us that have forgotten, and let me remind those people that are coming in. If you are hearing me, TBC is a coin that must not be discounted. Question 3, the greatest risk to using our coin is what is called legislative risk. The concept of abundance-based currency is disruptive to the current financial system created by the elites. Governments and lawmakers may at any time deem TBC to be unlawful within any specific country. One can observe the reactions governments have concerning Bitcoin as an example of this legislative risk. It is possible at any time that coins purchased could become worthless within countries that write laws against the use of these coins. No reforms of any kind can be expected of this if this happens to the coins you have purchased. It is not the responsibility of TBC to keep track of all the laws in all the countries at the time. Each member is responsible for knowing the laws within the country they reside in and act accordingly. Well, that is a risk, but I can tell you more than 80% of countries in the world will not bother, because for us in the developing world, TBC will save us from the debt burden. I don't care how many trillion of naira Nigeria is in. A few divisions will offset that, and we are asset. If government will concentrate on paying debts, we divisions will take over the development of the country. What will build roads, will build hospitals, will build schools, very standard, high standard schools. And that is what we will be doing. So I don't think in any country will be so mean to say, outlaw the use of TBC. Every country would want people that will develop the country instead of government importing things to come and develop. Individual do it, and there's no need of any guarantee because we will not be doing it on debt. Let government allow us, and factors of production will bring them into this country, pay for them, and the country is developed. So, well, of course, well, let's provide for that risk by admin, and admin is wise to provide for that risk. So he has asked, are refunds available if these coins become illegal within the country of the purchaser? No. The question is no. It is the buyer's responsibility to know the laws of their own country, and 100% of the risk of purchasing something that later becomes unlawful is upon the buyer only. Thank you. Because of time, I'm going to stop here today. We are moving, and we are moving fast. A lot of merchants are joining in. By the end of June, we'll get to know the end of this week. In the next Sunbot meeting, we'll know the figures that we have about merchants. But please, TBCians, get excited. TBC admin has said by the end of March 2020 would have likely reached the TBC economy. That is why there is a lot of scam going on in TBC now. Everyone is putting a strategy to scam people of their TBC. If it is not a valuable coin, why is there so much scam in TBC? TBC exchange, exchanging that. A lot of us are falling into the hands of these scammers, trying to exchange our coins. Please let the mentality, the poverty mentality be erased out of our minds. Let's be rest assured that we are moving in the right direction, and very soon the value of TBC will be gotten out for us to enjoy by the merchants. Thank you. Until we see in my next live broadcast. God bless you, and continue to enjoy your abundance in TBC.